Now it's recording.
There. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for jumping on. Robert Johnson is a fellow board of director, fellow realtor here at Southland Regional Association of Realtors. He's an independent in the business. So he's actually been the pacemaker that I secretly have been following, from afar, seeing his career develop, the families he's impacted, the investments he's made through birth strategies, and equally important, the success he's had at home with his family. And now, granted, we're all growing, we're all doing our thing, but Robert really, and I should say, and Robert has really just kind of set that pace professionally, business, and most importantly, family. And Robert's going to share with us whatever the heck he wants to share: real estate advocacy, the family aspect, the business aspect. Robert, take it away. Share a little bit about yourself, and it's all you.
Okay, I still appreciate you. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. Hopefully everybody can, but I still appreciate you inviting me. Like I said, there's a lot of people that you could have reached out to be with everybody today. So I am appreciative of that. So yeah, I'm an independent broker. I do business as EH Realty. I incorporated back in 2015, 2016. And we were just talking about the market right now, where some people are going to be, not everybody's going to remain full-time over the next couple of years. And some people are going to be having, part-time jobs, which is understandable what's going on right now, to supplement some of that income. I don't want to go back to that. That's the way I started doing this part-time. And I have some ideas to ramp things up to help out for the next couple of years. So I don't want to ramble on. So I'm just going to go off your guideline that you gave me. I took some notes so I can speak about a couple of things. So one of the things you wanted me to touch on was how I got started in real estate. Really, I got my start was back in about 2004, 2005. I was attending CSUN, and I would always hear people talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And after hearing that over and over again, I'm like, you know what, let me go ahead and pick up this book. So I picked up that book. I started reading that back in 2005, and I instantly got hooked because I saw my parents working, and I saw them caught up in a rat race and paying bills, and I was about to graduate college, CSUN, and I didn't want to be like the average CSUN student where you would graduate, get out, get a job, trying to climb the corporate ladder. I kind of saw how some of that was on the corporate side, doing my internship at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and I didn't want. I always knew that what I learned in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, buying assets, not liabilities. Didn't want to get caught up in a rat race. That was always in the back of my head. Okay, so how I got started in real estate, we'll fast forward from 2005. I had different corporate jobs. Back in about 2008, I got my broker license, but I was scared to go full time. So my roommate and I had a broker license, and we were trying to figure out, okay, what can we do to make some money, and then do real estate on the side. Okay, and then maybe eventually, we'll go full time. So we saw advertisements of the LAPD. They were starting me off at like $50,000, and coming from CSUN and from Enterprise, only making about $28,000. I thought I was going to be rich working for LAPD, doing real estate on the weekends. Until I went home one day and watched the episode of Cops, and I knew that I'm not trying to chase somebody down a dark alley. So that kind of scared me away. So I ended up getting married about 2010. Real estate was still in the back of my mind. I wasn't doing anything with it. I had a full-time job at the time. I was selling medical devices, and so I wanted to start. One of the things I got from the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, Robert Kiyosaki, is he always said, never get a part-time business. Never get a part-time job. You want to work in a part-time business, and eventually, get that business up and running, and then you can leave your job. So that's one thing that always stuck out to me. So I had a broker license. I remember one day I got in my car, I went down Ventura Boulevard, and there's a lot of real estate companies going down Ventura Boulevard. So I just was door knocking real estate companies. Basically, everybody said they weren't going to take on anybody part-time. They only wanted full-time people. So I was kind of discouraging until I knocked on a KW office in Encino. And I walked in there, and there was this little skinny guy in there, like in a sweatsuit. And it's actually Harma. You guys probably know Harma. So it was Harma back then. So that was Harma before like a guy looks like Thanos now. The guy's like, full of muscles and everything. But he gave me my start, and he let me work with him. again, I was doing a part-time here and then, nights. Sometimes I would go on a week, do open houses on a weekend. I ended up purchasing a townhome that year, around 2012. I really didn't ask anybody for help. I just wanted to figure out all the paperwork myself and figure out how to negotiate so I can be able to help other clients. Okay, so at this time, I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith was in that movie. Man, he had to sell, it was like selling x-ray machines. So he was doing that on the side while he was trying to get into the investing business. So I remember people used to make fun of me because I was in the medical device industry. I was doing that full time, trying to support the family. And I had a quota of about 15 to 20 sales a month. So I had to do that. I had to maintain that while I was trying to break into real estate. And the good thing about that was I had the flexibility because the company was in Austin, Texas. I was out here in California. They didn't know what I was doing. So I was starting to get business from doing open houses on the weekends. And so fast forward in 2016, I had my second child at that time. And so I decided to go ahead and take a gamble and go at this full time. I was still a little scared to go full time. So what I did was I went back to Enterprise Rent a Car. I had a part-time job with them doing like maintenance on trucks. It was from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think. So I was going to do that and then do real estate after that. Go home, shower, quickly change, and then try and do open houses or whatever it is I was going to do and try and figure things out. Then I had some issues with a family member watching one of my newborns. So I decided to put him in daycare, and that wasn't cheap at the time. I was paying, I think, $1,500 a month in daycare, $700 a month for my other son to go to Faith Baptist. So it's like almost, $2,500, $2,000 a month just right there, just putting the kids in school. So I needed money ASAP. I didn't have I didn't have 6 to 8 months to wait to drum up business. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I need money right away. I just quit my job. I'm now working for a real estate company. I have a broker license. I really don't know what I'm doing because I've never done this full time before. So what can I do? So I just started doing open houses basically every weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I can meet about 100 people coming into these open houses, I know I should at least be able to sell five or 10 homes. So if somebody's going to come into my open house that I'm holding open for another broker, what am I going to do different? What am I going to say different to make somebody want to work for me? Because as soon as they leave my open house, they're going to go to 7 other houses and they're going to see seven or 8 other agents this weekend. So what can I do different to stand out and make them remember me? Okay, so I'll make up some real estate coupons. So I did that. So I would make up my own criteria on it. You had to have a 640 minimum credit score. Your income couldn't be past a certain level. And it would give like a 10% back, 10% back from my commission to the buyer. So I would tell them at the open house, hey, we have this real estate coupon that you can use. If you don't want to use it, give it to somebody who might be interested. You can use this 10% to help buy down your closing costs, or you can use it to help pay for termite, whatever. So on top of that, not only this, I have my whole setup. I would know what each bank would have. So if I know a certain bank had a home buying grant, or Wells Fargo would have a home buying grant, Chase Bank would have this other bank would have this. I would have all these different incentives from different banks. So I would be able to provide some value to the people coming into the open houses. So that's kind of how I got my start, just doing open houses every single weekend. My wife really wasn't happy about that, but I'm doing this full time now. So I did that. And I started, okay, what else can I do? So I looked up some iBuyer companies at the time. This is back in 2016. So one of the iBuyer companies, the criteria was you had to have 5 sales over 12 months with 5-star customer reviews. So I did. The real estate coupons helped kind of wrap things up. I was able to get 5 sales in 12 months. And then the iBuyer business started to pick up. So that first year I was able to sell maybe 9 or 10 houses, something like that. So what has allowed me to maintain my level of business? Gary Keller has the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And I remember they were giving that book out back in like 2010, 2011, when I was doing the stuff part-time, going to the KW office in Encino. So I would read that book sometimes. And in that book, I do remember that Gary Keller said, you always want to treat the referral source better than the referral itself. So anytime that I would have maybe somebody from the church I was going to, recommend somebody to me, or somebody from an open house would call me and they would recommend somebody to me, or even another agent would call and recommend somebody to me, I'll treat that referral source better. So I would send them a $50 gift card, whether the lead would pan out or not. Just to get them in the mind frame, okay, hey, this person that I referred Robert to didn't end up buying the house, but Robert was cool. He sent me a $50 gift card just for me thinking about him. So I still do that to this day. Anytime anybody sends me anything, I'll treat them. Especially when it closes, I'll treat them again also. So one thing I learned about the medical device industry when I was in there, when I had to meet my quota, I really wasn't trained well in that. Kind of had to figure things out myself. But I don't know where I learned this from, but I've heard that 80% of success is just showing up. So I still use that to this day. I'm out door knocking. I really don't have a script. I'm cold calling, doing different stuff. But 80% of success is just showing up. So as long as I'm showing up every day, trying to put in 5 hours a day, I know I'm going to be successful. So I try my best to stay engaged with past clients. That was my issue in the beginning. I would help somebody get a house and then, stay in touch with them maybe a month or two after, send them a few text messages. But after that, agents tend, and it's not just me, I know Mel Wilson has said this in the past, you just get busy and sometimes you lose touch with clients. So investing in my business, investing in myself, I would go to the CAR meetings 3 times a year, self-funded. I would go to the NAR meetings. I went to NAR Chicago, and there was a guy named Ed Hatch there. I learned from him. What he does is when he closes escrow with the buyer, he'll go back after close of escrow and he'll have a check with him. I'll have a blank check and I'll have a $2,000 minimum. So he would say, okay, what did I miss? Because a month later, you're going to have plumbing leaks, whatever, you're going to start noticing stuff in your home. So I applied that to my business. I started doing that since 2018, whenever it was, I went to NAR Chicago. That's really helped a lot. I can remember that earlier on, I think a year ago, client called me. I helped them get a single family home south of the boulevard. And on the 3rd floor, the AC really wasn't cooling out the 3rd floor. So they wanted to sue the seller because they felt that the seller should have disclosed that the AC wasn't cooling out the 3rd floor. They told me this. So I said, okay, well, we can get an attorney involved. We can go after them. You probably have to pay a retainer fee, $5,000, whatever that's going to be, $2,000, $3,000, or I can just give you a $2,000 check and I can help you pay for this. I can help you pay for this AC because it was going to cost them about $4,000 to upgrade the AC on the top level. So that's something that they won't forget, and they referred other clients to me since then. I know they're going to be a client for life. So being active at the board has definitely helped maintain my level of business. The last few years during COVID, we only had about 400 homes for sale with 11,000 agents here in the Valley. So it's very competitive. So just volunteering time at the board, being on different committees, a lot of different agents, a lot of different owners. I know Rich Pisani over here at Calabasas. I know Philip. I know people from a lot of different real estate companies. So I can Facebook the listing agent, see what that person knows, and that would help me get the upper hand over other agents, because a lot of times, as you want to work with somebody as a listing agent, you want to work with somebody who you know of or who you can trust, who you think is going to get you through that transaction. So that some of that has helped. Bigger pockets, that has definitely helped maintain my level of business. There's a podcast, Bigger Pockets, that you can download, and they also have the website Bigger Pockets. I talk about that a lot with my clients. I always ask them what is their long-term goal in real estate. Is it just one house you want, or do you want to build a portfolio of houses? Do you want passive income coming in? So I have my clients listen to Bigger Pockets while I'm working with them. And once they listen to that, I've had one client after he listened to that, he said now he wants 1,000 doors. So who do you think he's going to come to? He's going to come to me because I'm the one that introduced him to Bigger Pockets. This year I was able to get about five or six sides with different investors from using an article that I found on Bigger Pockets. And they have pro exclusive articles on there. And there's one of the articles shows the #1 area in each US state and has the highest rent to price ratio. So I had 6 investors earlier on this year. They're all going to go out of state because they have money to invest, but they figured they couldn't invest in California. They already have their primary residence. They figured California is too expensive. So they all thought they had to go to Florida or Vegas or wherever they had to go. And so I read this article, and it showed that the #1 area in California that had the highest rent to price ratio was in La Quinta, the Coachella Valley area. So I've helped people we've gone to that area and people have started up their short-term rental businesses. Some people are making $15,000 a month during peak season. That's some good passive income for somebody coming in. That's helping them out. So I've gotten listings out of that because, somebody's making that kind of money in an area where you can buy a place for $250,000 and you're getting $6,000 a month coming in. Where else are you going to get that? If you look at the rent to price ratio calculation, you want to try and get as close to 1% as you can. You're going to take the amount of rent that the property will generate, and you divide that into into how much you paid for the home. And so 2%, 3% is like unheard of across the US, and people are getting that here locally. School banners, that's helped out. Again, I have a limited budget, spending so much money, and my kids going to school, so I don't have, you see the bus stop signs. Those signs are like $2,000 per month, $3,000 per month. So you go to a school and you get those school banners, they're probably $500, $700 for the entire year. So that's helped get my name out there. I've gotten last year I got 3 or 4 listings just off one person seeing those banners, and it kind of spread to other listings with the neighbors. I market wholesalers. I've gotten listings and buyers from wholesalers. I can touch on that later on if you want. Using advocacy from the board, just updating clients on different stuff that's going on against private property rights. That helps me stay in touch with past clients, as opposed to just, hey, do you want to know what your home is worth? No, I can. We just had Senate bill, I think SB 679. That was the largest tax increase in the history of LA County. So stuff like that, I'm able to update people on and let them know what's going on legislatively. So that gives me another way to stay in contact with people. So whether or not I invest in real estate, that was another question. Yes, I do invest in real estate. I purchased a townhome back in 2012 and then purchased a duplex back in 2014, liquidating a 401k and purchasing that duplex, and then purchased another duplex, I think in 2018. So my wife has quit her job earlier on this year. We're both working, but she's going back to school full time now. And so the passive income from those duplexes has definitely helped supplement her income. I'm getting about $3,000 a month coming in from that. So that helps a lot. So I want to do more of that. You can Google Pace Morby. I don't know if you heard of him or listened to him. I know one person, he's buying all kinds of houses right now. I think he's buying 3 or 4 houses, and it's just using creative financing. So this is over the next couple of years, people are going to need to sell. And with the way the interest rates are, not everybody's going to be able to sell, and they want to get out of their situation. So creative financing is going to be big over the next couple of years. There's a $7,000 course where Pace Morby will show you how to do this creative financing, and it's a lot of money, but that's something I'm going to do to invest in myself to try and get more real estate holders and more passive income, because I think we need to be thinking about creating generational wealth for our families, for our kids. So share about real estate advocacy and what you do to volunteer with organized real estate and as a board of director. Um, advocating for real estate is big. You know, our private property rights are being attacked. It seems like it's every month the governmental affairs committee comes out and this is something ridiculous where the city or the state is doing something. It's almost like they're anti-business, anti-landlord in the state. So you can sit back and you cannot do anything, or you can get involved. And I want to pass my real estate on to my kids. And so I don't want our private property rights to be diminished over the years. So I'm in the fight. I'm in the fight with it. I am a CR director. Getting my start back in 2016. I had an agent tell me I should join the leadership academy that they had at the board. If you haven't gone through that, I highly recommend that. That's how I kind of got my feet wet with advocating for real estate and joining different committees at the board. And each year we go up to Sacramento and we lobby with the legislators. There's something called Ledge Day in Sacramento. So being a part of the Leadership Institute and going to Ledge Day kind of opened my mind up to a whole other side of real estate. And honestly, my business has tripled from volunteering and giving time back, volunteering time at the board. And not only that, volunteering time at the church that I go to, just volunteering time with the children's ministry and the parking lot ministry. And when your hands are open and you're giving, you're gonna receive blessings. And so if you're willing to give back, whether it's giving back by serving time at the board or just helping people out, I guarantee you, your next 2 years, your business is gonna triple. You're gonna be blessed. I know it will, because I know it's happened. It's happened for me.
And I was just going to say, that's incredible. Jeez. Thank you for that. Keep going. Sorry.
No, it's no problem. Just, you had another question about sharing how you manage your life and your busy schedule. I learned from Mel Wilson that if I'm doing something with my kids, Philip, you're doing a lot of stuff with your kids all the time. I do not tell my clients that anymore. I just tell them I'm on an appointment. Okay. Because I can remember when I had my first child, my wife was giving birth, and I told one of the clients, we had just opened escrow that day, and I said, you're probably not going to hear from me tonight because my wife's in the hospital and she's giving birth. I'm not here with you guys, but I'm probably going to need a day or two. And one of the wife was like pissed. She was like, and the husband like looked at her, he's like, come on, he's having a kid. But I think I told Mel Wilson what happened, and Mel Wilson was like, yeah, you just have to tell people that you're on an appointment, because people will respect that more if you just say you're on an appointment, because you set aside time to make appointments with your clients, and they know you have other clients. So now I just try and work my schedule around my kids, around my wife, to help her out, and I just tell people I'm on an appointment.
We got to turn this into a podcast, brother. This was like nonstop. Every moment was incredible, has been incredible.
Hey, no, I appreciate it. Do you want me to, I don't know how we're doing on time. I don't know if you want me to
We've got about 2.5 minutes, and
okay.
Stephanie's really good at like just turning it off because of another meeting.
Do you want me to leave it open for questions, or?
Yes, please. If we have some Q&A, and we'll run it until we need to stop it. But
Okay.
Robert's dropped a ton of notes. I filled up 2 of these pages just with what he shared in the last half hour. By all means, if we have anyone, I know Eileen, you were like, hey, get Robert Johnson on here. So anyone that wants to chime in, please chime in and pick his brain.
What was the first thing in the beginning that motivates you to change your life and go to the real estate industry?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand. What was the question?
He said, what motivated you to change your life and really plug into the real estate industry? That's Bruce.
Really just seeing all the growing up, seeing all the stuff that my father had to go through working in the car business. You know, you can be very good at what you're doing, and people will get jealous of you, and they'll try and bring you down, and if you're making too much money, they'll change your pay. Me working in the corporate environment, you know, I was working at Enterprise Rent a Car once, and one of the managers pulled me in the office and told me my voice was too deep. He had complaints about my voice being too deep, and I had to lighten up my voice. And I'm like, you know, as long as I can get my job done, I don't see what that has anything to do with it. So really, that not wanting to climb the corporate ladder, not have to worry about a glass ceiling. With real estate, people like you and they trust you, you're always going to have business. So that's what motivated me. And really, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, wanted to invest in real estate and get, you know, passive income. That's really what motivated me to get into real estate.
What do you recommend to all of us and to put our feet in your shoes when you became a real estate agent?
I would say just give back and don't expect anything back from people, but just have a helpful heart. If you do that, people will be loyal to you and you're always going to have business. I try and do whatever I can to just bless other people and volunteer as much as I can. And
Thank you.
you're going to get it back.
Anyone else? I mean, Robert, you dropped in like nearly 30 minutes of just excellent content. And I mean, beyond content, this is, if everyone just got this 30 minutes, this last 30 minutes, I mean, our businesses, our home life, our lives would just be better. I mean, just the one aspect of getting back, that alone would just be a difference maker for all that we get to do and share. So, man, any last words of wisdom before we jump off?
I would say, well, you know, over the next couple of years, just don't be afraid to think outside the box. You know, you have a really good, I don't know if Philip is anybody's mentor, or you got Philip in this KW office in Calabasas. I'm seeing you guys, and you have some powerhouse people in your office, you know, yourself, your wife. I've seen where you come with your business and all the volunteering time that you give back, and you can see for yourself how your business has been blessed just by volunteering and helping other people out, and it comes back to you tenfold. You know, Eileen, this girl, man, just like she has a new listing every day. I mean, just 80% of success is showing up, and I know she's always out there in the street showing up. So as long as you do that, you just continue to show up, help other people out, you're gonna continue to get blessed. I know that for a fact because I know it worked for me, and I can definitely see that it's worked for you.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. I mean, I totally have just copied you and other folks along the way, secretly following. I actually didn't know you started way back in 2008 as a broker and then worked your way through the trials and errors and everything. So
Yeah,
thank you again for sharing.
I had a license in 08, but I never did anything with it until, you know, not a full-time job, but I did have it, but that's, but here we are now.
Yeah, I remember we passed each other in the halls of KW Porter Ranch a few times, and I thought, hey, this guy's going somewhere. You know, so, and then fast forward, he's a broker, he's a board of director, he's an investor, he's doing all the stuff you've shared with us, and most importantly, giving back. I can't say any more than what's been shared in chat with Rachel and Monique. Thank you for words of wisdom and insight. Love your humility, and it's nice to see how much you love what you do and your passion. Thank you. Thank you. This is awesome. What is your social media? If you want to drop it in the chat. I know you have two. I know the EH Realty one, and then get the other one, but I follow both.
Yeah, this is Robert Johnson on Facebook, but I'll type in the Instagram handle right now on here.
Got it. Awesome. All right, as Robert's doing that, we're gonna bring it to a close. Thank you guys for being on here with us. This is incredible. When this gets published, make sure you're watching this. I would even challenge you guys to watch it once a day, right? It's so worth taking in, like as part of your personal development, just to ingrain it in your head. I mean, I took 2 pages of this stuff, right? And this is just the front page, and I have another back page filled with notes. So ingrain it, make it part of your week to week even practice. But I would challenge you to watch it once a week or once a day for the next 2-3 weeks until you ingrain it. So thank you, Robert. Thank you, everyone that made the call today. And let's keep on crushing it. Thanks, Robert. Take care, brother.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Philip.
Robert.
Bye.